Hello and welcome to the Mindflow podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping people navigate life through the lens of mindfulness. And my guest today is Sarah Moore, who attended one of my 8-week mindfulness group programs last year at the Gate Community Centre in Huyton, Liverpool. So Sarah is going to share her story and her experience of the 8-week mindfulness course and the insights she developed and how mindfulness has made such an impact on her life today.
So my life really changed in July 2019 when my elder son was diagnosed with cancer. So we went on a journey for 3 years of trying to get him better. You know, we had loads of ups and downs. He actually went into remission. We thought, great, he's won this battle. But the cancer came back and he actually passed away 3 weeks after his 21st birthday in November 21. So my life spiraled out of control. I didn't know how to cope with my own feelings. I didn't know how to deal with how I felt. I was diagnosed with PTSD, depression, anxiety. My mental health was really, really bad. And somebody who I know, who Geraldine's worked with in the past, messaged me and said there was a course and would I like to attend? And I did. And I can honestly say that the techniques that you learnt me have taught me that the feelings I have are normal. Like, because I thought that I wasn't normal. I thought that the way I was feeling in my own head, it was like a battle every day. And I thought, God, why am I having these thoughts and feelings? But the techniques you taught me and that 8-week course taught me how I can deal with it and how I can get on myself again. So when my head was spiraling, I didn't know how to bring myself back.
Yeah.
Until I learned the techniques and everything that I did with you. So I apply them every single day in my life now. So I wake up of a morning and I put my feet on the floor and I ground myself. And I wake up and the first thought is of Lewis, of course. It hits me, God, he's not here and I've got to face another day. But I ground myself and I'm able to apply the techniques and get through my day.
So an incredibly difficult journey for you, Sarah, to go through that experience, with your son, just to be diagnosed with cancer, but then it was the 3-year battle for his life, and eventually, that came to an end. So it just shows you how we're not in control of so much in life, are we? We think we are, but something like this, it just comes just out of the blue. And there is no control. We just have to. It's almost like we're just thrown around in it because how else do we cope? It's just sort of grounding down, sort of every day. With Lewis and his treatment, and you're just going from this to that in survival mode.
It was fight or flight for 3 years.
Fight or flight for 3 years. For 3 years. And that's hugely sort of important for us all to realise that, anything can come at any time. And we spin out, we go into free fall. That is part of the sort of navigating process. But if we don't know how we can navigate, it can take us to a really difficult place. So, those 3 years where your role had really sort of changed to, full on with Lewis, caring for him. So that became your your life and your role then.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that's where I struggled a lot as well, because I'd gone from being 3 years of my life being 100 miles an hour to his illness consumed everything. Everything I'd done was for him and to get him better and to get him to appointments. And I actually isolated in the hospital with him while he was having treatment, because they said I couldn't go, if I went home, I couldn't come back in, because don't forget, this was just as COVID was hitting.
So you had that to deal with as well.
So we had that as well. So we couldn't see his dad and his brothers, and it was a really, really, really hard time. But when he went, obviously losing him and the grief was overwhelming. But I found it really hard to deal with that there was nothing to do. I had nowhere to be, and I didn't, because my other two kids had become quite self-sufficient, because obviously I wasn't there. So they weren't very needy, and I had nowhere to go. I didn't have to make sure his meds were done. It was like my whole structure had gone out the window, and I struggled with that really bad.
Yeah. Going through that with Lewis over those 3 years, everybody had to adapt and change. Your youngest children adapted and changed, and everybody was sort of pulling together to support Lewis. But then when Lewis died, that's when all these other structures started to sort of started to fall away. So for you, is that sense of just locked down in that purpose and drive alongside Lewis, and then Lewis is gone, and then everything that sort of crumbled, your purpose, your drive, everything. Because that had changed again and again, it's adapting to that change.
When you're alone with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
So the biggest battle I was having was with myself in my own head.
Yeah.
And it was hot. I didn't know how to understand how the mind worked and how these thoughts were normal and how to deal with them. So I was just putting myself in bed for days, because I just couldn't silence these thoughts, because they're just constant, aren't they?
They're constant.
They're always there.
They're always
but it's how to deal with it.
When you came on the course there, and we started really to understand the nature of the mind and the thoughts, which are relentless, they're automatic, they're habitual. But in particular, the nature of the thoughts that were bombarding you 24/7. And it's like you said, so I was dealing with that. I just need to get to bed, try and get rid of these thoughts locked down in there. But then that doesn't do anything. It's still the torment of those thoughts.
Yeah, the minute you wake up, they're there, but sometimes they're even consuming your dreams as well. You're even in sleep, you're not rested. I don't feel like my mind was ever rested. I feel like it was always ticking over, and it was. I didn't even get any peace when I was asleep. It was just really, really hard. It was a hard time.
So even with that, it's relentless, and then the impact of that on you, because it just grinds you down. It's going to completely grind you down. When you came on the mindfulness course, and we started to understand the mind and the nature of thoughts and how the mind works, what did that sort of do to you with understanding on that?
I think the first week, something just clicked with me. I think something just clicked, and I knew I was going to come back the following week, because we did have to go back and explore some thoughts that I'd kind of put in a box and didn't want to think about. And it was hard. It was a hard process, I'm not going to lie, but it empowered me. It made me think, now I get it. I get it now. I understand what's going on. I'm not strange, and I'm not weird. This is normal, and now I know how to deal with it.
But it's interesting that you said from the first week, there was almost like a light bulb moment went on for you when you started to understand how the mind works, and then how you sort of internalize that. Well, there isn't anything wrong with me. This is my thoughts. It's normal to get these type of thoughts, although incredibly difficult. But that's what it is. That's how the mind works. It just throws out these thoughts. So having that little light bulb moment from the first week, it touched something. It spoke to you.
I didn't know at the time that I needed it, but I did.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for our mutual friend reaching out to me and saying that, I think this might benefit you.
Yeah.
And boy, was she right. It did.
But it's interesting because we don't know what we don't know, do we?
No.
And we can just sort of drop into the pattern. Well, this is normal. This is just normal, until we start to maybe get a different understanding, and then through your direct experience, you are able to relate to these thoughts give a bit of distance to them, or relate to them in a different way.
Obviously the thoughts still come, and the thoughts are still there. They'll never not be there. But I just know, because I've learned like different techniques and things to deal with it, that it's okay to feel like that. It is okay if I'm feeling like I'm spiraling out of control, because now I know how to ground myself, and I know I'm going to bring myself back. So now I'm not. I used to be scared when I felt like that. I'm not. I haven't got that fear anymore, because I know it's okay, and I know I'm gonna be able to bring myself back.
To bring yourself back.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to see the spin out. We all spin out, but if we don't see the spin, that's where it takes us to places. But when we see the spin, well, then we can recognize it and we can bring it back. So in essence, that's what mindfulness is. It's the recognition that, right, I've been spun out. I've been engulfed by the emotional state here. Okay, holding it gently, but then bringing it back.
Bring myself back.
Here and now. And navigating that process in the best way you can.
Yeah. Because before the spin, it put me in a complete fear. I'd feel fear in the pit of my stomach, and I'd spin for days. I'd be in bed. I wouldn't get washed. I wouldn't get dressed. I was just totally. And now it doesn't do that to me now, because I recognise it now.
So when you notice the spin on certain days, and you feel you're going down a familiar pattern here, a familiar road, how do you use your mindfulness to bring you back to the here and now, to navigate it? It doesn't stop it, but it gives you the ability to hold and support yourself differently.
Yeah, I'll sit. I'll put my flat feet on the ground, and I'll close my eyes, and I'll do what you taught me. I'll recognise, and I'll fully understand. I'm having this feeling, but I'll recognise that I'm here. I'm still inside here. I can come back from this, and I'll notice, and I'll hear the things around me, and it calm myself down. And it's mad. I can't explain how much listening to your own head, and just being able to recognise the thoughts you're having, and recognise the noise around you. So once you go into it, you really do understand how much it can calm you down. And my heart will be pounding when I first start, but then when I come back out of it, I'm fully.
So it's that real sense of I'm connecting with that part of myself, and I can regulate that fear, because it's the fear that was just really engulfing. It's like the fear fuels those thoughts. So before, that used to create anxiety and fear in you, any feeling anything like that. But now you're able to recognize it in the moment, and just be with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just
Hold it gently.
yeah, be kind to myself and just hold myself and let myself have that feeling. And when I first go into it, my breathing's rapid and I'm hyperventilating. But now when I go into it, I concentrate on my breathing. I listen to my own breath, and it just
Yeah.
calms me down. And
So you feel that you've got a real anchor there, because we spoke about the dropping the anchor, didn't we?
yeah, and then
And
I drop it into the choppy water, and I
dropping it.
know I'm
Yeah.
gonna flow a bit, but I do know I'm not gonna go anywhere because
You're
the
not going
anchor's
to go
there.
anywhere. There's
Yeah,
something at the deepest core there, able to hold you and support you, no matter
yeah,
how
yeah.
rocky the waters get.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter how choppy it gets because the anchor's down. So I
Yeah,
might go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, but I am going to come back into the middle because I've
yeah,
got my anchor, and
yeah.
that makes me feel safe.
Makes you feel safe. And also, what I'm hearing there, Sarah, you really trust yourself. You've got the confidence in this, because you've put it into practice, and through your experience. Right? Yeah. Throw me around, do what you want, but I'm staying here. I'm staying anchored.
Yeah, saying to me thoughts, no, it's okay. You can enter my head, but you're not going to spin me off because I know I'm coming back, and I just go with it.
Mm.
Where before I'd just go, oh my God, I hate feeling like this. I don't want to feel like this. I'm going to bed. Obviously, I still get upset.
Yeah.
That's my life now. But I also recognise that as well. That's just the way it is. But it's how you deal with it.
It's how you deal with it in the
Mm,
moment. Yes, yeah. And I remember from one of the weeks as well, Sarah, when we were talking about the resistance. So that's what you're talking about there. So I'm having these feelings. I just don't want these feelings. I want to block them out. I want to get rid of them. So that sense of fighting them, and then the resistance just gets worse. But now the resistance is not there. You're aware of them, so you're opening to them more. It's challenging, but you're dealing with them completely
yeah,
different to how you used to deal with them
yeah,
before. Try and block them out, or numb them, or get lost in distraction and stuff like that. That
yeah.
doesn't play out anymore for you.
But now I know when them feelings come that I know I'm going to come out of it and I'm going to be okay. So I'm not frightened the way I used to be,
Mm.
or I don't try and run away from it the way I used to. Like
Mm.
I'd honestly be arguing with myself, going, "No, why am I going there? I don't want to think like that." But now I know it's part of you can't control what memories and thoughts are gonna pop up in your head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And we never know what's going to come out in any moment, do
no,
we? We can be
that's
walking
it.
down the street, and then all of a sudden a thought pops out. But then,
Yeah,
but now I'm able to see that thought, and
yeah.
recognize it for a thought, for a memory, and keep yourself grounded.
I used to avoid places that I knew would give me a memory. So I used to avoid going to places because I'd think, oh God, I can't deal with that. But I've been back to the church that we had as I say going to heaven ceremony because I don't like saying the other words. I've
Mm.
been back to church and that was hard, but I did it because I knew I could deal with it now. I've been back to our last family holiday was in Benidorm as a 5, and we went back in June as a 4. But I did it. Honestly, the course changed my life, like it for the better. It's helped me be able to. So I'm facing these milestones now because I don't want to live being scared of everything.
But what significant events now that you're able to go back to the church? Because it's the association, so
Yeah,
I'm going to avoid that. But now to be able to go back to the church, but also to go back to that place where the family was of 5, and now
yeah,
it's 4. Yeah.
yeah.
And what was that like for you, Sarah?
It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was hard, but it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. The memories were nice memories. So it was nice to deal with. I mean, it was hard when I looked round and there was only 4 sunbeds and not 5.
Yeah.
But now I know that, that's okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that in my own head. So
But it's lovely that some of the lovely memories are coming to the surface for you now as well.
Yeah. It's not all pain. We've got some really, really good memories as well.
I mean, it's incredible, really, your journey over those 8 weeks, and I'm sort of reliving them now with you, since October, but you've you've just really taken to it so naturally. You've connected with it, and it's part of who you are. It's part of who we all are if we turn inwards and start to see what's there.
I think anybody who goes on one of the courses, you need to leave everything you've learned at the door, or everything that you think is right at the door, and go in with an open mind and just listen. And that first session we done, I thought, yeah, I get this. Because I had been taught other things, because I'm in bereavement counselling and other people have said to do it this way and that way. But I thought, well, no, I went in with an open mind and thought, no, I'm going to take on what Geraldine says and I'll listen. And I'm glad I did.
But you came there with an open mind, and that's a wonderful thing, because we can just be on those tracks and I just need to do it this way. But it was a very different way of working with difficulty, because a lot of the time we are taught to wall it off, or change it into
think about
else, or don't distract yourself. There might be times where we need to do that, but this mindfulness is very much about turning inwards to those that inner resilience that we have. I mean, I don't know if resilience is the right word, but it's that inner core, I think, that inner core that we all have. But our mind can be so focused on the external that we don't even realize we've got this real stability, this inner core there. If we take the time to just, rest and feel it and get to know it.
Definitely.
Anything else you'd like to say about that, Sarah? Any other significant sort of moments over those eight weeks?
I feel like I got to know myself again, because I'd sort of just totally lost who I was as a person. I felt like I was just a mum who's lost a son. Like I wasn't a person, and I felt like everybody seeing me like that as well. Because there was a time where I wouldn't even go out because I felt like everyone was looking at me. But now I recognise that's in my own mind. No one said that to me. That's in my head.
Yeah.
So it was like an 8-week course of learning about myself again and discovering, actually, I am still in here.
Yeah. So that sense of really reconnecting with yourself.
Yeah.
Finding yourself again.
Yeah. It's made me feel a little bit more confident as well in what I'm actually doing outside of it. It's made me feel more like me and more confident. And
So how is it playing out in your outside world now?
I joined a nutrition club by accident, really. I kind of stumbled upon it and accidentally ended up joining. And that changed my life, because I'd put loads of weight on when Lewis wasn't well, but I didn't care. In fact, I didn't care about myself at all. Even after he passed away, I didn't care about myself. I joined this club, and then I naturally started just helping other people in the group and I went on to lose over 3 stone, but it was never about weight. It was about how it made me feel.
How it made
And
you
none
feel.
of these people in the group knew about my background, knew where I'd come from. So it was like a fresh page. They do now, I've obviously told them, but it was like a fresh page. No one's judging me. I'm not walking in here and I'm all going, oh, that's that woman who lost her son, because no one knew me. So gradually, I really got into it. And a year later, I actually opened my own community wellness club.
That's amazing.
And I think doing what I've done on that course has helped me to understand people a lot more as well. I think that I've helped about 80 people in our community, not just weight, but with nutrition, with feelings, and just, being in a real sense of a safe space.
And I've seen some of the work you do, and which is absolutely incredible. But you're, through your own life experience and actually, riding the waves of everything, and now that confidence and that real need to connect with other people as well, to show them that you can turn your life around as well.
It is okay to not feel quite right. When you've got all these feelings in your head and you think, God, what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? Well, now I know that that's okay. And I can pass that on to them. And I'm confident to do it because of the course I've done with you.
I mean, an amazing journey, Sarah. And I remember recalling from the course as well, a real special goal that you've got is to create Lewis's place. Because I remember you saying, for a teenager, going through the challenges of cancer, that he really, there was so much stuff that he didn't really connect with. If I recall rightly, he liked to go fishing, didn't he?
Yeah, and
there was nothing like that.
No, so there's a lot of stuff for younger kids, and the charities that are out there are absolutely amazing, by the way. They are. And there's a lot of stuff for older people, like with the Macmillan and things like that. But the teenage and young adults kind of got lost in the way a bit, because it's not that common. So my big goal, and this is what I'm working towards, this is my why, my reason why. So I said I'm going to turn my pain into purpose. And I wanted to open the Lewis Moore Foundation, which I could buy a lodge maybe where, they could just go and have some time out and go fishing, maybe just chill, sitting around a campfire, or whatever they want to do with no judgment. Like, that's what I'd like to do in the future.
Yeah. Well, it feels amazing. I can feel the emotion in myself rising, because the sense, the determination, and how incredible would that be to do something. So that's your big why, and then your purpose, and
So that's pain into purpose. So this pain's give me a purpose, and I'm not even want to do it. I'm going to do it one day. It's going to happen.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it, because that pain into purpose, again, shift in perception, because pain, emotional, physical pain, it's all pain and suffering, but it's how do I meet it? How do I meet it? Yes, we can just go completely under, or we can learn to sort of swim or navigate it.
And I did go completely under for a while. I'd contemplated suicide and everything. I did really. I went to some very, very dark places in my mind. Yeah. But it's, for what I've been through, it's normal. I'm a mum who's lost a child. That's not the circle of life. So it was very, very hard to get my head around it. So doing these courses and understanding your thoughts and your mind, honestly, it's a real eye opener. It really did turn things around for me.
Just like to thank you so much for coming on to the first podcast, and hopefully of many, and it's, the podcast, navigating life through the lens of mindfulness, and that's what I want to call it. So this is through the lens of mindfulness, working with loss and grief. So I can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing your journey with us all.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's an absolute pleasure.